everybody, it's Sharon from My Crafty Greetings and my buddy Ziggy here, who will not stop whining for some reason. I wanted to come on here today because it's a very different type of video that I'm going to be presenting, and specifically it is a show and tell style video of sympathy cards. We ended up in the position recently where a friend of ours has had their mom pass away. It really kind of hit home the realization that COVID has changed so much for all of us, especially since there's no more visitations, at least for the foreseeable future, and no longer specifically the traditional style of funeral. And I feel as though that has really started to make card making a far more important and more meaningful endeavor, so that if you were in need of making a sympathy card, if it's an emergency situation where you have to pull something together quickly, or you're looking to make something specific for someone very important and close to you where you know that they would like a certain type of card, or even if you're just trying to build your stash up. Anyways, I'll stop chattering on here and we'll get to the video. But thank you very much for joining me and subscribing, for all your support. I can't tell you how much it means to me and how much it does for my heart to know that I have crafty friends out there. So here we go. So this is a card that we made in my card class, and it's a fairly basic card. You can do it in just about any color combination, both for the flowers and for the background. You're going to be doing some clear heat embossing on the raised panel here and dry embossing on the background panel. You use a little bit of twine and whatever flowers and leaves you have in your stash. Put yourself a sentiment on here. Thinking of you is a pretty universal one, but obviously with sympathy is another really good one to use. Backgrounds could be black and white, gray and off-white, anything that suits your needs. This is another card that we made in card making class. It is a Tim Holtz embossing folder overlaid with a frame that had the center popped out of it. I used the Altenew tiny frame borders as a background for it. You can skip that and do a layer instead, and we just used gelatos to highlight the flowers and the leaves. This is a pattern paper card. A nice pattern paper with a large design in the center can be cut and matted, and taking a dry embossing folder for a center panel to pop all of that up using a larger sympathy sentiment, or you can cut a flag with a thinking of you or with sympathy and adding some stones, pulls this all together in a lighter sympathy card. Dragonflies carry special meaning when it comes to the passing of the spirit from the body, and this card includes a black dragonfly with vellum die cut behind it for the wings. It is set over top of a hexagon pattern Spellbinder's fancy die cut and some beautiful soft pattern paper with a bow and a piece of ribbon stamped with "Sorry for your loss." The gentle earthiness of a butterfly seems especially appropriate for the loss of a mom. This has been backed with some wood pattern paper, and these butterflies and the backing paper as well as the wood were all taken from a paper house paper pad called Field Study. It has wonderful images. You may have stamps in your collection to be able to stamp butterflies and some greenery, or if you have some ephemera, that might work easily as well. The bow helps to anchor the center panel, and the copper line below the deepest sympathy helps to draw your eye down to the sentiment. This sympathy card has a much more masculine energy, with the butterflies squared up in the center here and layered with a darker panel. The deepest sympathy sentiment has been cut as a very slimline banner and mounted above the butterfly. These pattern papers are all from a Field Study, and I think the gilded slip of pattern paper adds to the richness and elegance of this special card. This floral print has been taken from a 12 by 12 DCWV pad, and any floral strip as a border on those big 12 by 12 pattern papers can be cut down and used on a sympathy card with a mounted sentiment over top of the image. Assembled together, they look quite stunning. This card was made in a previous card making video. I will mount the link to that in the upper right hand corner here. I frequently add in sympathy and thinking of you cards in the collections of cards that I make for my videos. This particular card was made with an Anna Griffin embossing folder and dry brushed over with Distress Oxide ink. It's definitely a video worth checking out, as a lot of the cards that I make can be transformed into sympathy or thinking of you cards. This is another card that I've used an embossing folder on. I also have made this on video. I'll provide the link in the upper right hand corner. I've got some wooden embellishment butterflies on here, some ribbon, and Distress Oxide ink blending, as well as a little bit of homemade Nuvo drops. From here on in, luckily, these cards will actually have video links posted up in the right-hand corner there. If you take a look, it'll take you to the video that shows these cards. This is a floral one that gives lots of floral ideas that would easily be converted into any kind of thinking of you or sympathy card. Don't you think these flowers already look like the kind of mums that you find in funeral arrangements? Now the next bunch of cards are made from a series of cards that I made with alcohol inks and Vaseline. This particular card has double stamping with heat embossed gold elements, and the multiple layers add to the classiness of this card. The peach base layer has been stamped with the same elements in Versamark for an elegant finish. This card is from the same series with the alcohol ink and Vaseline. I've added some gold foiling to the background and used some subtle but very deep jewel tones. Behind the panel there's a little bit of a gold peel off as well as some gold banding. It's finished off with a few gold pearls. This card has the same thing from the same series with a little bit of embossed blue paper and a nice gold frame around the butterfly element. The two main things I would say about Sympathy cards is using good quality papers and popping up your elements, as well as using layering. A metal or a pearl will increase the classiness of your card, and always stick with simple components. Although it's not the only thing you can use, anything earthy always seems to work well. Florals, leaves, trees, birds, butterflies, dragonflies, those all seem to fit the bill. And just a note, thinking of you is a great sentiment, especially if you're going to be keeping your cards on hand for emergency. It fits just about any situation. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you have subscribed already, I so appreciate it, and if you haven't, I super duper would like if you would. Please go ahead and comment, give me a thumbs up, and here's a few selections that you can pick from if you would like to continue watching with me. Have a great day. Bye!